Hi guys, I want to welcome you here with Everything Waterfalls. It's just a website with my experiences of showing you the ultimate waterfall experience, and to give you a little history on how some of these, I kind of arrived with it is when I first got my first job. Actually it was the second one. When you're young like that, you're a little fancy free, you don't care, but meaning if you get fired, who cares? You're fancy free. But anyways, I remember that my boss came up to me and he says, "Dave," and he looked at me real serious. He says, "I don't know what you did, but the main boss wants to see you." He says, "I don't know what you effed up." He said the F word, but anyways, I says, "Well, what was it?" He says, he told me to mind my own business, just to send you to his office. So I went there and I went in there. He says, "Close the door," and he looks at me. He was an English man, and he looked at me and he started laughing and he says, "Dave, you bloody effed up." And he says, but you did in a good way. And he says, "I saw a lot of character on, because you kept trying to fix it." And he says, "Being in research and development, that's what I'm looking for." And he says, "With a lot of the stuff that we do here," he says, "I think of many things off the wall." And he says, "Being in the chemistry with different chemicals and stuff, I need somebody to fabricate all kinds of off-the-wall type of things." And he says, "It's going to be mainly CPVC, PVC plastics." And he says, "You're going to be making cells, you're going to be making all kinds of different fume hoods and stuff." And he says, like I says, most of the stuff isn't going to work, but it gives me ideas." So when I remember that, he says, one thing that was funny, he says, "At this age, you're going to be doing all kinds of oh shits. And what does that mean? You messed up." And he says, "For every one of those, you got to do about 12 data boys to level the field." He says, "Right now," he says, "I have the education." He says, "I want you to get the experience." He says, "Go out and create all the F-ups that you can, because that's the way to learn from experience." So the whole gist of this is learning how to use different things a little bit out of the box. These here, when it comes to waterfalls, to put a pond waterfall or even a swimming pool waterfall, it's really, these are no-brainers. They're very simple, they're easy. In fact, I can probably put one of these in 1 hour and 50 minutes of it. I'd be out in the water swimming around enjoying it. So that's the great thing about these. But what about some of the things that sort of out? So when you come to Everything Waterfalls, you might see some things that are out of the, where I did different things, a little different, to give you ideas, because not everybody has a place to put a pond. Not everybody has a place to do different things. So when you look at stuff with the career that I had of trying to design and develop things, and going back to the creator of these, I put him as a landscape artist, because he formed these rocks for every aspect of anything you're thinking about in your landscape. So we're kind of, with the Everything Waterfalls, is kind of showing you a little bit of the whole entire ball of wax that you can do to bring a waterfall anywhere in your yard that you want. And it's very simple and easy. And just like I kind of elaborate on my career when I was younger, you know what, it's a lot of cool things that you can do, and you can really do a lot of things with artificial rocks besides just doing what everybody does, putting a hole in the ground, putting a pond, putting a waterfall. These things here are made to be a little bit on the creative side. So this is where I say, let your creative juices flow, and you know what, there's a lot of things you can do.